The United States has regained control of Kabul Airport in Afghanistan after days of chaos. Flights evacuating diplomats and civilians have resumed in Kabul after 7 people were reportedly killed at the airport trying to flee.
More hardcore fighters are arriving all the time, and so if you like, the enlightened leadership may be making all the noises that people in the West might want to hear, that they're going to be reasonable, that they say today that government workers should go back to work, that there's an amnesty, there'll not be any retribution against them, and that they will respect people's rights, and they will form a government, they say, that involves other parties, Islamist parties, of course, but others that are slightly more liberal than the Taliban, because they have form for agreeing to all sorts of things in Doha which haven't come to fruition. And in some of the negotiation, those broke down because it was quite clear they held the upper hand as these cities and towns slowly, or quickly, I should say, fell with very little resistance. So they feel emboldened. The general population, I mean, the reason we're seeing so many people rushing to the airport at the chaotic scenes that we've seen for the last couple of days, the reason for that is so many people don't believe them, and they're very scared about what happens to them in the future. There's going to be more information from the Taliban, we believe, today and over the next coming days about how they're going to change and, well, they've taken over power, but what this new government is going to look like. So you have two things taking place at the same time. A transition, a government forming itself, making lots of noises to the international community that sound reasonable, and then absolute chaos that is here around the airport, people trying to get out still, and we are hearing, as I say, about these much harder core groups who are moving into this sort of area even as we speak, who would take a very much harder line on everything. In fact, some of the people we've been talking to saying that they had seen people having their passports who were trying to get to the airport being torn up by the Taliban, and there's been shooting quite a lot of the time and some very aggressive behaviour by the Taliban that are around the airport area. Very different to the centre of town, which is much calmer, with people going out trying to open up their shops and markets and people going shopping. So it's sort of two cities at once here, really. Starkly different at this part of Kabul, I have to say.